Hello everyone and welcome to a new reading vlog. I have learned my lesson. Talk less. I was not expecting a 50-something minute long reading vlog about 3 books. But yes, I learned my lesson. I don't know if you like the longer one or if we need to find a happy medium. But anyway, we are back with another one and we are going to be jumping into 3 books in this video. But before we talk about what those books are, let's talk about what has been happening. I have been buying books as if I'm reading them as fast as I'm buying them. At first, that was happening. I made sure that I had like 5 books on standby, read these, get to the next ones, and then I would end up having to wait. But then I realized I don't need to wait. I'm going to read them. Now I have 5 months worth of books here stacked up by month, and I have more than I thought I would ever have. So that's where we're at with that. I'm gonna take it easy. Have I purchased books since the last video? Of course. I'm not going to keep talking about the books I've purchased in every reading vlog because we need to get to the reading part. So let's go ahead and get to that. All right, so there are quite a few books that are turning into movies and series on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, I don't know, all of the streaming services. But I decided to pick 3 books that I already have, that were already on my list, and figure out like, when are these things happening on the big screen? And that's how I would decide what to read when. So I have the 3 books.
What we doing? What we doing?
They're kind of thick. They're kind of thick. So we'll see how it goes. I did already start the first one, so let's go ahead and get into that. First up, we have The Perfect Find by Tia Williams. This is actually one of 2 books that I have from this author. The other one is 7 Days in June that I purchased that one a few months ago, but I'm saving it for June. So just let me do that, okay? So this one is set to be on Netflix, I think. I will go ahead and put on the screen any of the streaming or filming information just so that you can have. But this book follows this 40-something-year-old that had a long-term relationship that went bad, and to save her self-respect and dignity, she exited that relationship and is reinventing herself, recreating herself, but is still a bit embarrassed by the peak that her career was in and how it has plummeted in a way. So I am halfway through this book. This is also an age gap romance, we think. There is a 20-something-year-old man in this book. They meet. Are there sparks? Will they get together? Should they be together? What could be stopping them from being together aside from age? How did they meet? And was anyone supposed to see us when we met? So far, so good. Let's go ahead and talk about my tabs because I have quite a few. Yeah, quite a few. And something a little bit different, I have put some tabs at the top. This is just my reading marker, and the darker tab is my reading marker as well. So I'm using the solid green for my scene that I would love to see. So here are my tabs. I have, he said he's a grown man, because there's so much talk about his age that he keeps having to remind people, look, I'm grown. I am a grown man. Let's stop it with the, oh yeah, you were just a kid when that came out. I'm a grown man. Like, I have a degree. I have a job. Like, stop treating me like I am a toddler. And they keep saying, okay, never in the history has a grown man ever had to say he's a grown man. Well, you guys keep bringing up his age. So yes, he does. He has to. Next, we have, wait a minute. Now that can be read in multiple ways. That can be read like, wait a minute, or wait a minute, or wait a minute. So All of those under the same tab because they're plot twists, they're moments where you're just like, ooh, that was a good one, but they all fall under the same thing to me. Next, we have Too Funny. Why are there comparisons to Sojourner Truth? Good, and I'm not middle-aged. Stop acting like it then. And he closed the door. Now, why are you guys arguing? Why did you call that lady middle-aged? I am halfway through the book officially, so that would make it chapter, what is that, 17? Let's see. Chapter, yes, so far we have had a dinner party. We have gone to an industry event. We have met all of the friends. We have met the biggest villain there is. I wish I was at the dinner just so I could see. I'm not going to be doing what you guys were doing, but I just want to be there. I just want an invite. So that was a good scene. I loved that scene. I also enjoy the moments where Jenna, she's the main character, she's being vulnerable in moments where she didn't even realize how comfortable she was getting, and moments where Eric is like, I'm not that kind of guy. And then he realizes, well, maybe I am that kind of guy. Maybe I want to be that kind of guy. Maybe I am that guy for that girl. We also find out the meaning behind the title. One of the meanings, I'm sure that there will be more, but so far halfway through the book, we know what the perfect fine means. So I'm aiming for a double entendre, but for right now, we have one meaning. And we also have the work-life balance that is completely off balance, completely off balance. Let me say it a third time. The work-life balance is completely off balance. The friend group is funny. They are entertaining. There's a married couple in there. There is a friend that's also with the movers and shakers of New York. This is set in Brooklyn, which perfect. As a Brooklyn baby, love to see it. We also are introduced to one of Eric's best friends. Like, they are steps away from being brothers at this point. His friend brings the life to the party. The dinner party turns into a night that people cannot forget. So that's where we are in the book. It's going well. I'm enjoying it. I'm also feeling as if maybe I can finish this tomorrow evening. There is angst. There is lust. There is flirting. That's where I am right now in the book. Nothing has happened again. That's what I can say. Next, because this clip is already too long. Next, we have Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. This is a take. When I read these books, I'm going to be honest, I try not to read the back in full, but this one came up with different book-related accounts that I've seen, and Black Cake is a part of me. I'm Jamaican. Black cake is one of the desserts or one of the traditional cakes that are made for weddings or holidays. And if you have been on my TikTok, you know that I made a few black cakes last Christmas. So this is going to be hopefully a nice read for me. It is another lengthy one, 385 pages, to be honest. Let's take a look, because someone said there is a black cake recipe back here. I look for one thing, and if I see that that thing is not here, I don't trust it. Flour, breadcrumbs. If I don't see lime on a black cake recipe, I'm not trusting it. I don't see it, my dear. That's a recipe I wouldn't be using. That's a recipe I wouldn't be using. I wouldn't be using it. You can use it. I'm not going to be using it. But this is on the list. I will also leave the book on the big screen info on the side. I know nothing about what's happening really, other than somebody passed away, left messages behind. I don't know much more than that. Once I saw that it was black cake, I was like, I'm buying it. I don't know if I need anything else. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not sure if it's fast, medium, slow paced, but the one that I am excited to get in as well, While Justice Sleeps by Stacey Abrams. I believe this is more of a political mystery thriller kind of thing. And yes, first word I see on here is thriller. Brilliant, mesmerizing. Okay, that's good enough. This is about a law clerk that actually ends up being the power of attorney for their boss while a case is ongoing, a very serious case. And I don't know much more outside of that. I saw that there was something that said scandal mixed with how to get away with murder. And I'm thinking, who got murdered? And I believe this is the one that terrifies me the most, not because of its content, but because I think I saw 81 chapters. Let me look again. 363 pages. No, not 81 chapters. That's a different book. This one has 53 chapters. And I'm thinking, why? This is going to be my first thriller in my reading journey. I'm excited about this. So this is a thriller. We have this one being fiction. Would this be in general fiction? What are your thoughts? Is this general fiction? Is this women's fiction? Is this contemporary fiction? I believe this might have some generational trauma, and I'm not excited about that, depending on how it's presented. Because if you remember how Hold You Down held me down, weighed me down, I felt dark, low, sad, mad. I don't want to feel like that. So this better not do that to me. And then this one, there's comedy, and I can definitely see Gabrielle Union playing this role because she can be funny. I think she will definitely play out the emotions that I'm reading about, and I can envision her playing that part because I'm thinking of her role in Being Mary Jane and how they were not so much close in age, but both of those characters, I feel like their personalities outside of their work is similar. Oh, and this is my new bookmark, guys. Not my mouth, not my eyes. Look at that. It says one more chapter, and on the back it says time for bed. It has a book charm. I got this from Amazon. I will link it down below for those that want to join the metal bookmark club. No, I didn't take the plastic off of it because if it ends up scratching the paper, I'm gonna scream. But this one seems smooth, so I might not have an issue. But anyway, here's the stack. Get your photo. You got it. Nice. Good. Are we good? Oh, it has been quite a few days, and I will say I have been reading. Let's look at the tabs. I've been in the book. Okay, top tabs. Oh my goodness. So top tabs, this means that I need to see these scenes in full effect. I need to see them. And Eric, babes, my darling, my sugar plum, you are aging beautifully between chapters, okay? I feel like with every chapter, he gets a smooth 2.5 years. He's getting older by the page because some of the things that Eric is saying, oh, Eric, let me keep reading. Because you are sounding grown. I mean, you're not that grown, but you are sounding very grown as the chapters go on. And I'm here for it. Now, the people are funny. And again, I do enjoy the dinner party. By far, my favorite chapters have been the dinner party. And there are some other scenes that, of course, I love because I'm, tabbing it. But funny moments throughout the book, and it's not cringy. Darcy is still a demon, a terror. She needs to be admitted. The lady is not well. She's not well. Darcy is not a good person. She's terrible. And if she was a child, then you could say, okay, her parents should have put her in therapy. Now that you're a big grown adult and you don't see anything wrong with your behavior or the things that are coming out of your mouth, crazy to me. And I'm not saying violence is the answer, but somebody needs to slap you. I don't know. I'm just thinking you need to be upside the head at least twice a day. But anyway, I said all that to say we're making progress, we're making strides. I took my bookmark out so it's not swinging around when I'm swinging the book. But I am on chapter 22, so this is where we're at. I'm feeling good about it. Now let's also touch on something that's unimportant to anyone else. Now, I'm just trying to figure out, did we consult with the same team this particular year? Because we're related at this point. Covers, colors. I mean, I'm into it, but when I was picking up my book and I was like, wait, ethic, not now. Come on now, not now. And I realized that the colors were similar. Nobody cares, but that was my observation. One of the characters keeps calling Jenna, the main character, keeps calling Jenna Olivia Pope. Stop calling her Olivia Pope. You're being funny, but you're also trying to be rude. And it's funny. It's funny. There was a moment as well when someone was saying that they like to be slapped, like they like a little aggression in the bedroom. And then one of the characters was like, did you slap her? The fact that he said, with all the strength I could muster up in my 15-year-old body, he said, it was insane, but I liked it. I love being with women who surprise me. Why would you? First of all, why were you 15? Number one. Number two, thank you for your honesty. I mean, okay. Yeah, I do, but it's not the end of the movie yet. That's a line. That's a secret, Black Swan. Don't tell. May is so cute. She's such a cute little girl. And I know I can't see her, but you know, you just gotta go with it. Go with me on this. She's adorable. So I'm here with an update. Yes, my hair is still dirty. I'm missing 2 nails. I took a nap that was supposed to be 30 minutes. It ended up being 3 hours. That's not the point. I did go to the gym today. I ended up at the bookstore somehow, and there were shots involved. So, I mean, things were happening, but this is what I have left. This is what I have left. And I just want to record this before I get to this particular part in the book. Here's what I think is gonna, first of all, Brian is the ex-fiance of our main character. Let me just say this about Brian. You are ridiculous, okay? You're not even hearing yourself with what you're saying. You're not even, okay. That's it about Brian. Heard from Brian more, and he needs to talk less. Brian needs to do the least amount of talking, in my opinion. A lot more has happened. I think this is what the people call the third act conflict. I'm still learning my way around writing. So I think this is a third act conflict because we were so in love and loving where we are. We figured out how we're going to move and shake to make this relationship a thing. And now we're at the point where the things we thought would work aren't working. And it's creating tension. It's creating a lot of frustration for the characters. And now the villain is back in full villain mode. This isn't going to make sense to anyone who hasn't read the book, but I hope that if you are planning on reading the book, you'll revisit this part of the video and then it'll all make sense to someone that has read the book. All right, hear me out. I think that when the footage is reviewed, I think that someone is going to remove said footage and act like it never existed. Why? Because they know that Darcy is a villain. They know that she's a terrible person, and they know that she would use any and everything to embarrass anybody that wrongs her in her eyes. So I feel like since everyone knows that she's trash and she's a terrible person, they would do anything to go against that, but not make her feel like she wasn't in control of the situation from the beginning. So that's why I feel like it might be okay. I don't know. I feel like it might be okay, but I'm nervous. I'm actually nervous because the fact that somebody said, start packing, this is our last day here. Okay, are you her boss? No. Okay, answer me now. Oh my. Yes. I don't believe it. Would you like us to reenact it? Ooh. Jail. Because why would you say that? Oh my goodness. Darcy, the villain, is not getting her way, and she's still being ignored. Guess who decided not to leave the house? And I'm about to start the last chapter. I'm stressed out. I'm not stressed. I just don't know how we're going to end this. And I feel like I don't want to be aggravated and irritated and upset. But anyway, this last chapter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages roughly. So I will be back. I'm still in the chapter, and if something's going on. We are 4 years ahead at this point, and one of the new characters introduced doesn't have a name. And it's like, for example, because I don't want to give away things, but it's like saying, instead of calling me Syl, somebody's like, the girl, the girl, the girl. And it's like, why aren't we saying the names? Say their names. In the words of Monique, when she was talking to Charmaine, and she was like, say their names or keep it on the playground. Because why can't we say the name? Why can't we say the name? I'll keep reading, but I feel like you are teasing us. Introduce yourself. Go ahead, introduce yourself. I don't talk to strangers. Okay, well, introduce yourself. He's not a stranger. It's okay. Oh, no. Okay. I finished it. Okay, so here are my thoughts. The nerve of you, Jenna, because I feel like that was kind of selfish on your part, but then it was kind of selfless, but it involves someone else. The decision you made directly involved someone else, and you made that decision without consulting with them first. And I feel like that is a dangerous road to go down. Like, for the moment, yeah, it makes for a cute little beautiful story, but if there was another chapter, we would have to argue. We would have to be arguing, because I would give it That's a tricky one in the end. It's a tricky one in the end. The ending just makes me think, what would one do if one was in that situation? Like, would I decide the fate of others because of what I want? And not to give too much away, how Jenna was feeling majority of this book is similar to how Yasmin was feeling in Before I Let Go. By the end of the video, maybe I will have a star rating for it, but for right now, it is complete. And that ending, has me thinking. Taps for days. Good evening. I'm getting my office together for the work week. I'll be working at home until further notice. So that's what I've been doing for a good chunk of the day. I did get some reading in, but first I do want to go back to The Perfect Find for a little bit, just for a little bit. I still have mixed emotions about the ending, but I will give this a 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like it has been casted perfectly for the main characters. I don't know about the rest of the cast. Because if what I'm seeing is Lala as Elodie, based on the character features or ethnic makeup, I'm curious to know how Lala landed the gig, if that's the case. But that's my take on that. Next we have While Justice Sleeps by Stacey Abrams. I am currently, let me see, I think I'm on chapter 4. Yeah, chapter 4, page 30. And I plan on getting to page 65, 68, somewhere in there. The end of whatever chapter is in the 60s. And if I do 65 pages a day, I should be done by Friday. So we'll see. I do have other books that I would like to jump into before the month ends. So it's a personal goal. Now, coming from The Perfect Find and jumping into a political crime, drama, mystery, thriller book, we are here for bants, jokes, romance, and this is serious. Someone has already been offed, and I'm only on chapter 4. So the fact that we have someone that's no longer, and we have some sort of something happening that could bring everybody down, it's like we're very serious and very strategic right now. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of characters, minimal development on the characters. So I'm like, we just found out who Avery was because she had all of chapter 1. Then by chapter 2, I'm like, who is Dr. S? That's the nickname because I'm trying to remember each character. Then we had Justice Wynn, okay? And then we had the president. Then we had Nigel. Like, Nigel, who are ya? You're the president and founder of the company. Okay, cool. Then we had Justice Wynn's wife, Jamie. Then we had, I said, listen, if we are at about 10 characters by chapter 4, help us all. Because what am I going to do when I get to chapter 10? What am I going to do when I get to chapter 5? If you introduce anybody else, even the mailman, I'm going to have to start writing names down. I'm going to stick with it. But I think that's why I like crime drama things via television, because I can really remember who these people are by face. But now I got to remember them by name and make up a face. So we'll see how that goes. But currently, that is where we are. Beautiful cover. Still a beautiful cover. America, but the cover is beautiful. So that's what I have going on here. I do have I'm looking under my monitors, but Black Cake is still up next. And I do have Ethic that I'm only a couple chapters in, but I'm going to read 2 chapters of Ethic today as well. So let me go ahead and jump back into getting my office together so that it is a peaceful space for the work week. It has been quite some time. I feel like we haven't spoken since I read The Perfect Find. There has been a window of time where I decided to put mini twists in my head, where I decided to jump into a novella, where I decided to jump back into Ethic 2, where I then decided, okay, it's time to get into Stacey. I wanted to get through at least half of this book last night, but I decided to just be real with myself, read what I can, and just go to sleep. So that's what I did, and this is where I am. I'm 56 pages in. 56 pages in, and the president is asking for a favor on the low, like on the lowest of keys. you are asking for a favor. The fact that you are now introducing more people, I have to wrap my head around that, from romance to the thriller mystery space, how there's so many players on the board. There's so many moving pieces to the puzzle. So that's something that I am working my way through, but I am going to read until about 9:15. I'm setting my timer right now, by the way, and then get myself ready for the day. I don't know what I'm going to do with my hair, but I've loved it being very low maintenance because I've been at home working. I don't know how people read with the jacket on, but like, this is decor. This is not for you to be playing around with. It is strictly for the look. All right, what chapter is this anyway? Not that I only had 2 pages left before chapter 8 in the first place. Let's see if I can get to chapter 10. Oh, she was a poker player. He said, "How often do you gamble now?" "I don't." "Why not?" "My salary meets my current needs. I never wagered for extravagance or only for necessity." "How do you gauge the difference?" "I've got a lot of experience with needs, sir. It's not hard to tell them apart." Others would disagree. Need and want look identical to most. What makes you better at seeing the difference? The nobility of poverty? "I'm not noble, Your Honor. Just practical." "Practical?" "Yes, sir. Gambling for want is a risk. I don't believe in jeopardizing what I've got for a negligible chance at something better, not unless I can't make what I've got work somehow. Poker is a risky game for most. I prefer chess, a noble game. It can be fun. The Moors brought it to Europe and it became the game we call chess. That's when the queen became the most powerful piece, still in service to a king. What do you think of that?" "Of what, sir?" "Of the queen being responsible for saving the king. My feminist sensibilities are not offended. In a game of strategy, the king is a figurehead, unable to save his own life without the aid of others. The queen is powerful and dynamic. She will protect the king, but not because of weakness. It's because that's what she's supposed to do. And in that next 500 years, she became the most powerful piece on the board. A nice evolution." I like this back and forth that she's having with the justice that she works for. She is a law clerk and she works under Justice Wynn. And he is just having a little conversation with her. And I feel like this conversation is one of the most important ones because currently, this is not a spoiler, currently he's in a coma and people are trying to figure out, like, why is she his power of attorney? And she let them know, like, look, we didn't have a lot of conversations, but for some reason, this particular conversation, she never discussed. So I'm going to keep reading. My alarm just went off. I think the president's crooked and his right-hand man is also crooked. I believe that, yes, maybe you realized that Justice Wynn, who is currently in a coma, had a plan in case anything happened to him. And you're trying to piece it together. But you're kind of getting it, but you're not getting it. And I'm still not getting it, but I kind of get it, you know? It's getting good. It's getting good. I didn't get to chapter 10. I stopped for a little bit, but I got to chapter 9. And when I come back, I'm going to spend at least 2 to 3 hours to get to that halfway point or past that. It's just a different kind of read for me. It's not as fast because I got to get past names and legal jargon. So, but I do like it in TV form. So I just have to get used to it in book form. I can't even begin to tell you how irritated I am, and it's over the most trivial thing. I had the book with me while Justice sleeps. I had this book in the car with me, and I took the jacket off in order to continue reading. And the night of the wedding, I put some things in the back seat because somebody wanted to get in the car because it was raining outside, which is fine. And my box that my perfume comes in was back there. And look what it did to the cover. I know you might not be able to tell, but look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. It is, the jacket is ruined. And I love this jacket because the shades of blue are just beautiful. So now I'm torn between getting a brand new book just to get the jacket. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm down to my last 50 pages. I'm gonna come back in a minute and we can talk. You are in for a rude awakening. I feel like you weren't supposed to be saying all of this. I don't think this is the arrangement that we had on that call. You're getting bold right now, and that's what's disrupting my spirit. I'm finished. My dishwasher is also happy about it. But anyway, my first thriller, mystery, my first ever, I want to say, political thriller. I want to say that this was definitely a challenge for me. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, that when you've been reading like one genre for 3 months, it is it took a little bit more effort to tap into this because you have way more characters, you have way more action, you have to put on your thinking cap for real. You might miss something, and that's an element of the thriller mystery space that I haven't been getting because I've been in my romance realm. But I enjoyed this, and to know that there is a book 2, I don't know if it's going to be a duology or a trilogy, but I know there is a second book, and that cover is beautiful as well. Towards the end, because I've been up for hours and hours and hours, I was getting so sleepy just out of sheer, tiredness. I'm so tired that these words started looking italicized, and they weren't in italics. That's how tired I was just from the day. But I finished it like I said I would. This is 2 out of the 3 books completed. And tomorrow I'm going to start Black Cake. I don't know if I'll get to Love Radio. That was another book on my list for the month, but for the sake of this particular video, Black Cake is the only one that I have left. And I am hesitant, but excited to see where that book will take me. But for now, I finished it. Look at those, look at them. Crazy. Like, for me to be reading this book because I know it's going to be on the big screen, did I even need to do this? Like, all the scenes that I want to see on the big screen? Yes, obviously, I want to see them. There are certain moments, there are certain points in time where you're like, oh, this would be a good scene because I need to see how this person really would be reacting, or this particular scene because it's heightened with the emotion and so much anger and rage. Like, I want to see that. I want to see that played out. There are certain scenes where it's like we're piecing all of this together, and I need to see everyone's reaction because I am reading their reactions, and I can see that Noah is confused and that Ling is having her aha moments. And then I can also see that Jared, he is somewhat smitten by this girl that, like, why do you have more control than me, and this is my family member? It's just a mixture of emotions in the same room. There's some funny elements as well, and I can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it. I'm going upstairs. Hello, really quickly. I am 50 pages in. not very far, but 50 pages in nonetheless. And we are currently experiencing the sibling tension. We have a little bit of history on Chinese immigrants in Jamaica. We have now known maybe 4 to 6 characters, and we're trying to tie them all into the story of the person that passed away and left the inheritance. That is not a spoiler. That is literally the beginning of the book. We are also doing a lot of flashbacks, and some of it is a little bit interesting because I feel like when I'm reading it, I'm like, wait, what are we talking about? Oh, this is your flashback? Let me know. Give me some italicized words or something. I don't know. But a couple of the parts I was like, I don't know where we're at. I don't know what we're doing. The chapters are very short. 1.5 to 3 pages, something like that. So nothing too crazy on the chapters there. I don't think I'll be able to finish that book before the end of the day, and it's already the 30th of April. May starts tomorrow. I was trying my best not to bring this book into the next month because I have a lot of heavy hitters for May, like really thick books, Some of the longest books I have listed for my May reads, and I'm nervous about it because I'm not a fast reader. But I said this in my April catch-up May pre-plan video that my time management has been completely off. And I'm trying my best to tighten that up so that I can go into the rest of the year knowing that I'm managing it a lot better. So whatever that means for the future, we'll see. But for right now, I am going to jump back into that book, but just so that I can ramp it up a notch. I did also have this novella that I've been reading, maybe a chapter here, chapter there. And I'm going to just finish this one right now. And after that, I'm going to edit and post a video. And then jump back into Black Cake for a couple of hours, do some cleaning. So I'm going to gauge my time in that way. And I made pizza last night. And I started pretty late. I've been on the phone with my mom and my sister for the better part of the weekend because I have a niece now. I am a first-time aunt. And my niece is here before the baby shower. So yeah, that's gonna change my home plans because I was going home thinking I'm gonna go down early so I can set up things. But now we're talking about, are we still doing all the things? But anyway, that's not why you're here. So I am going to go ahead and get going. I've rambled on. Yeah, I've rambled on enough with this update. Let me go ahead and get into this. I'm going to set a couple of timers just to get the ball rolling. It's pretty late in the day right now, and I've already filmed my video, so I just need to edit and post it. I look a mess. Come up. Come. Do you want to say hi? You just want to invade my personal space? It has been a while since I've done a reading update. I clearly have a different background. I have been home for a little over a week, and my niece is here. You would have known that from the catch-up April/May pre-plan video. So I came down a few days before the baby shower, which was more like a welcome shower, sip and see, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so I've been here helping the new parents, helping my mom, and yeah, I've also been doing some reading. So a well-needed update on my thoughts and feelings about Black Cake. As some of you, most of you should know by now, if you don't know, I am of Jamaican descent. Both of my parents are from Jamaica. born and raised in Jamaica. My brother was born in Jamaica. My sister and I were born in New York. I'm very familiar with my Jamaican culture. And this book was one I already wanted on my list for that reason. And last year I made my first black cake because my aunt is no longer with us and she was the baker of the family, one of the few bakers of the family. And I want to be the next in line to pass down the recipe. So I made it based on what my childhood taste buds remember. And I mailed the cake to my mom so that she can try it and let me know. I have something in my eye that's really bothering me. So my uncle and my mom tried it. Those are my aunt's siblings. So I feel like they would be the ones to tell me what I'm missing or what I need more of. And they enjoyed it. My brother tried it, he enjoyed it. So I feel like I'm well on my way to be the next baker of the family. You know what I mean? So when I saw that this book was in rotation on all of my platforms where I look for book recommendations, I was like, perfect, I already purchased it. You're late. So I didn't know that there was a recipe in the back. Here's where you lost me. Ingredients is where you lost me. Ingredient number 1, okay, is flour. Okay, normal, fine, we can accept that. Ingredient number 2, breadcrumbs. I don't, where are you putting that? Where would the breadcrumbs go? I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this. And you know how some people are like, well, if my grandma said, my grandma was born in 1914, and I don't recall her ever talking about breadcrumbs in rum cake, black cake. My aunt, we're not going to talk about her age because she will always be 21, but my closest aunt never saw breadcrumbs come out of that pantry when she was making her cake. So that's a recipe I'm not going to follow, okay? I am 100 and I want to say 132 pages in, and the first 100 pages was painful. Number 1, okay, we have chapterless chapters. I don't like that. Give me my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You telling me this is SILL'S chapter. This is a Florida chapter. This is a New York chapter. If you don't give me these numbers and stop playing around, I don't like the numberless chapters or the chapterless chapters. I don't like that. There's a lot of time jumping, and while I'm reading it, I'm like, whoa, 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 where are we at? I thought we were at the house. Give me italicized text or something. Don't just jump into 1965 when I was just in 2004. Like, I don't understand why you're not letting me know that. And I got to read 3 paragraphs to realize I'm not even in the same time frame that I was just in the last chapter. Okay. And we have multiple POVs. I got to hear from the mom, the dad, the siblings, the lawyer, the cousins from around the way, the neighbor down the street. I got to hear from the driver from back in the day. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about the newly divorced and why they're divorced unless it matters to this. My battery died because I'm not being positive. Hello, everyone. I'm back in Atlanta, and I was catching up with Lisa on Black Cake, and that is the book that I have here. I was letting Shelly know about it. Shelly is Jamaican, as am I, but Shelly was born in Jamaica and grew up in New York, and I was born in New York. I didn't grow up in Jamaica, but I frequented Jamaica every 2 years. Anyway, so we're both of Jamaican descent. So I communicate with Shelly on the history that is embedded in the book that I've read so far. I spoke with Lisa about the book in terms of the content and the flow and the overall feeling of the book as we were reading it. And we agree, Lisa and I have agreed, that even though I'm reading it physically and she's reading it audibly, slow as molasses going up a hill. The book is slow. And I just made the executive decision when I was trying to explain the book to Shelley. I made the decision to stop. I cannot continue. I cannot go on. I cannot go on, even if it is for the culture, even if it is for the cover, even if it is for the title, even if it is Jamaica related. I can't. No, because I can't. And this might end on a negative. It might end on a rant, but I have to get this out because I didn't get all of this out when I was reading Hold You Down. I didn't get a clip of Hold You Down when I was reading that because I was away, but I'm here now and I don't want these feelings to escape me. The fact that I am at the 150 page mark and I still don't care, because if your own children are in the book and they're like, okay, how much more of this do we have to sit through? I'm gonna go make some coffee. Do you want something? Or I need to step away for a minute. If her own children are taking these amount of breaks in the midst of their own mother trying to explain to them her life story and all of the happenings and all of her life unfolding, I just feel like if they need that many breaks, imagine how many breaks me as a human being in the real world needs. I need more breaks. I can't. For the people that have rated this a 5-star, great. This might be your cup of tea for more reasons than I could even imagine. But for me, I have to come to terms with the fact that generational things I might not enjoy, even if it is of my own people. I don't know if it is a writing thing. No. I know that the writing has a lot to do with it. I think that even though there are a lot of books that I've read this year so far that I've loved for the character development as well as the plot and how that has all mixed and made this beautiful novel, I think this is too much character development for me. It's like, yes, I'm telling you that, oh, this is a girl from Brooklyn that grew up in Florida and she went on to study at an HBCU. Like, okay, we've developed that character. She has a background of traveling all along the East Coast and her family's from out of the country. And we can pick up on that. We only needed one chapter for that. The fact that we keep going between chapters for many different people in the chapters, and then when you drop one of the bombs on us and we're like, okay, when you give us one of the secrets, we're like, all right, okay, we're getting somewhere, and we're not getting anywhere else after that, are we? I don't think it was too slow. I think that there was a lot of fluff. I think there is a lot of fluff to me. There were a lot of things I just didn't care about. I don't care about your divorce. Unless this person has something to do with why we're sitting here listening to this recording, I don't care about why she keeps calling. I don't care about who she is outside of this is your ex-wife. This is your ex-wife. So-and-so's ex-wife repeatedly calls and agitates him as he listens to the recording of his mother that was left for him after her passing. That's all we needed. That was 2 paragraphs at most. I didn't need a whole chapter about how she moved out and something about a rug and something about her luggage. Like, don't care. Take me back to present day where we can dive into this. Like, I wanted the sibling friction, which made sense. I wanted the mother to tell us, like, you know, why we're going back in time. Okay, cool. But did I need you to do that for 150 something pages just for you to start part 1? Just for you to start part 2 at, what page was part 2 at? Where did it start? Wherever part 2 started. Wherever part 2 started, you had the audacity to introduce me to yet another new person. I don't care about these folks. I just no longer care, and I'm no longer intrigued, and I'm no longer nosy enough to want to know. I think that this is now the second book in a newly found stack that I'm calling Reclaiming My Time. This one is in it. I also have Hood Feminism in it, and I haven't removed them from my story graph because I want to remember when I started these books. I'm not saying that I'm not going to finish it, but because I am on this reading road, like I have so many exciting books that are stacked up and waiting for me. And the fact that you are taking me more than 2 weeks to read, and I've read books, how many pages is it? 380 something pages. I think I've read a book bigger than this so far, if not dangerously close. Because before I let go, how many pages is in that book? It's well over 300. So it is definitely something with the writing style, the time jumping. I said all that to say I am reclaiming my time. And this book, I have to put it to the side for now because no,